Welcome folks, it's Kaylee Bird. Today I'm going to try something a little bit different in that I've got some fun artsy advice at the same time as I'll be discussing the painting I'm working on. Normally I just do like one or the other, but today I'm going to give you both. So I'm going to show you how I created my lovely piece, Falling Gracefully, at the same time as telling you how you might not even realize that a lot of your artistic skills actually parlay into your real life. Namely, I'm going to be discussing how building your artistic skills can actually make you more successful in other aspects of your life. I know, you don't really think that art skills equal life skills, but they actually do in way more ways than you would think. So I hope you get both educated and entertained today. And if you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so more people will see it. Thanks folks, enjoy the video. So the inspiration for this piece actually came from the windowsill in the kitchen of a house we were living in about 6 months ago, where all of the orchid flowers that had fallen from our plants would just be placed to dry out in the sun. And as I realized how perfectly they were self-preserving, I just knew I had to figure out a way to use them in my artwork. So right then and there, I snapped a few reference photos using that lovely neutral light and got right to work. Okay, now let's jump right into the nitty-gritty and talk about how building art skills can actually make you a more successful person in life in general, because it is absolutely true. You have to think about artwork as not just about color, composition, model, technique, whether or not your perspective is right? It's about so much more than that. It's about channeling your creativity in literally endless ways, because when you practice the art of making art, so to speak, you're actually training your mind to think outside the box, a skill that is incredibly handy when you're facing real life puzzles. I mean, how many times have you started to create a work of art and realized, oh, this isn't going well, I need to pivot and change, or oh, I thought this technique would work really well with this subject matter and it's just not quite doing it for me, or hey, this technique is working much better than I thought, maybe I need to apply this to more areas of the painting or artwork. Or sometimes it has to do with just how the materials are responding themselves. Like you thought that some paint was going to be super smooth and it wound up being dry and chalky, or vice versa. Like there are so many ways that you have to kind of pivot, change, assess, reassess, adapt to your circumstances as an artist that can really help you in other places of your life. If you learn to trust your instincts, take context clues that are going on around you, and you're not totally married to everything you think in such a way that you're able to switch things up and have new ideas and act on those instead, then you're already halfway there as far as just like unleashing your creative mind in more than just artistic creativity, but in life matters as well. And when it comes to learning to adapt and readapt, and maybe even readapt after that, it means that you have the patience of a saint, which is another skill that will help you in many aspects of life. Obviously, creating any kind of quality artwork really does require a lot of patience. I mean, you know the drill. Artwork can take hours, days, even weeks of refining sometimes, but we're willing to do it because we want to put in that effort to make a quality product, a quality piece of art. Well, that kind of mental and physical endurance can really help you later on down the line. It is sort of like a secret weapon of skill, something that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a skill, but literally just patience and endurance and a willingness to see things through to the end will help you so much in your other life pursuits, because most of what is really worth having or doing in this life does not come immediately. So if you realize that, hey, in order to make this beautiful piece of art, I'm going to have to take some real time and effort, well, you can apply that to other parts in your life as, hey, when I want to have this goal of like buying a house or, moving someplace or starting a new career, well, that's not going to be overnight either. It's going to take some real time, some real patience, and some real dedication in that aspect to finally reap the benefits of all that hard work. So the art of patience is no joke. It really is an art. Okay, show of hands. Who has ever felt like literally tossing a half-completed canvas right out the window, right? I think all of us, yes, even me, even the top artists you've ever seen, come to a point in many of their works of art where they get, you know, a third, a quarter, halfway through, and they're like, oh no, this is not working. This is total crap. This is going to be terrible. I just want to throw this away and start over or never think of painting again. And of course, you don't. You keep going, you keep pushing through, and at the end, you have a beautiful piece of artwork, and you're like, what was I so freaked out about? Well, that is actually a little skill, and I would call that skill resilience. Even when things seem to be not quite going your way, the decision as an artist, and then just as a human in real life, deciding, no, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to push through. Even if things don't seem to be going my way at this moment, I'm going to be resilient enough to understand that in the grand scheme of things, I'm most likely going to get what I want, or at least pretty close to what I want, or at least what is good for me, right? So actually, not throwing that piece of canvas out the way, not giving up when that artwork doesn't go your way, not giving up when that, you know, one oil paint color doesn't come out the way you want it, is teaching you resilience. It's teaching you the art of bouncing back when you have a bit of adversity in your life. And we all face adversity during points of our life. Every single person on this planet, 100% of people do. So if you can learn the art of just bouncing back, not letting it completely, you know, destroy you mentally or whatever, not letting, you know, one bad artwork or one bad occurrence just make you give up on life, you have learned a lot about resilience in the face of adversity. So pat yourself on the back, because I bet you didn't even know that not throwing away a half-finished canvas could be so good for you. Now, you know you're an artist, right? Like, it's okay. You can use that title. I'm giving you permission. You are an artist. But did you know that you are also an innovator? If you really stop to think about it, each and every time you lift your brushstroke and go in for a new stroke, or lift your pencil and go in for a new line, you are given a chance to innovate. You are constantly having to explore new techniques, new styles, new technical ways of doing things. And in other areas of your life, you'll find that innovation becomes second nature, meaning that you are not afraid to step outside of the box, to try something new, to explore, to experiment. And that is so healthy and wonderful for your life. You don't want to be closed in any sort of way. You don't want to be afraid to expand, to bring in new ideas, to, you know, even invent new ways of doing things. So I know you wouldn't think of yourself as an innovator, as an artist, but if you're creating original works of art, you definitely are. And hand in hand with being an artistic innovator and an innovator at life means that you are becoming a pro at problem solving. I mean, tell me you don't have a million problems to solve when you are creating a work of art, especially if you're trying like a new material or new technique. So when you're an artist, problem solving is like your daily bread. You are constantly finding creative solutions to totally unexpected issues in your artwork. I could make like an hour-long video going over all of the unexpected issues I've had in my own artwork, and I'm sure you could too. So when it comes to, you know, your daily life's problems, well, you're already a pro at problem solving. You've already done it so many times. Again, it's this idea of innovating, thinking outside of the box, and when a hiccup comes up, you look for solutions, not for excuses. Not only are you a problem solver in your day-to-day as well as artistic pursuits, but as an artist, you have a keen eye for detail. You fully understand that a well-placed brushstroke can like make or break a masterpiece. You know that the devil is in the details and that every single component of a successful work of art really matters. That no small task is really a small task. It might just be a shorter or a simple task, because all of the little steps build up to create a truly impressive masterpiece, both in painting as well as creating the masterpiece of your own life. So understand that attention to detail is a huge help in life. While other people might just kind of skate around, bounce around, you know, just kind of gloss over things and hope that the big picture works out, you fully understand that each and every single tiny step really matters and that they all combined to make a giant leap forward, both on your canvas as well as in your life. An eye for detail is such a wonderful skill to have, because that means that you're not going to overlook anything. You're going to really pay attention and understand that every small, teeny tiny step on this journey actually makes a huge difference. You know, you can kind of use the analogy of climbing a mountain. You know, when you're thinking about going 6,000 or 10,000 feet up in the air on a mountain, it may seem like an insurmountable task, but every single small step brings you closer to the top, which is exactly how it works for creating major goals in your life. Every small detail, every small step along the way really matters. Even if each step is almost invisible to other people, you know it was there, you know that it was important. So the word visionary, I feel like it's thrown around a lot. The actual definition of a visionary is someone who thinks about or plans for the future with imagination and wisdom. And as an artist, you are definitely a visionary, because you don't just see things as they are, you see things as they could be, right? You have this image or this project in your mind's eye and you can see it so clearly, and then you just have to realize how to create your vision, right? Your mental vision into something tangible in this real life. So the idea of using your visionary skills as an artist in the rest of your life, basically it translates into the ability to envision and create a better future in any arena in life. As a confident artist, you almost have this innate, like omnificent power to see your goal clearly, whether it be a piece of art or a life goal, and then understand the steps and details, like I had previously talked about, in order to get you there. A lot of people in this world will wind up with these big, lofty ideas and goals, and they'll see themselves in their future in these grand places, but don't really know how to get there. But not only can you envision these wonderful grand places you want to be there, but you also know about the steps and the details to get there. So applying your visionary skills to larger goals in life really helps you to not only make that goal concrete, but it can help you to actually understand the steps that you need to get there. Meaning, as an artist who has a vision, you are way more likely to achieve all kinds of other goals. Do you consider yourself a risk taker? Because as an artist, there definitely is a component of fearless risk-taking in a lot of art creation, especially when you are trying out a new medium, trying out a new subject, right? Perhaps even trying out a new class to try to build up your skills. I mean, there is a little bit of risk-taking in all of those, because you understand that things might not go quite according to plan right off the bat, or even ever, but you are still willing to put yourself in the position to take that risk. You've got a bit of a fearless nature about you, and you realize that great things don't come without a certain amount of risk. Sometimes trying new techniques, experimenting with colors, and even starting all over can be a huge risk. But if you get used to those things, you're going to be more of a fearless risk taker in the rest of your life. This somewhat fearless approach to risk-taking becomes your trusty sidekick in seizing opportunities beyond the canvas. Now, I don't mean severe, harsh, death-defying risk-taking, of course, but I just mean like putting yourself out there, maybe putting yourself into a new situation that might be a little bit uncomfortable at first, maybe just applying for something that you don't know if you're really going to get, but you're going to do it anyway. So being, a little bit fearless and a bit of a risk taker might not be the first adjectives that you think of when you think of creating artwork, but it's definitely a part of it, and it's definitely something that can give you a lot of leverage when it comes to really having to put yourself out there or take a leap of faith or try something totally new, put yourself out of your own comfort zone. So all of those things can really benefit you in life, because most great goals are accomplished by being a risk taker and not just always doing the safest route. Now, speaking of patience, resilience, and problem solving, after spending all this time oil painting the hand, I realized that somehow my measurements were incorrect, and I decided to cut the hand out of the canvas, re-spray paint a canvas, and then affix it to the newly spray painted canvas, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but I definitely wasn't expecting to have to do it. Luckily, things still wound up working out okay, and I was able to use my nice archival glue to get everything in place in the frame. But yeah, I definitely had to use pretty much every ounce of my patience for this process because I was feeling really dejected at first. Now, if you're familiar with my other oil paintings, you know that I use a lot of dried leaves and flowers and bugs and things, and usually I just glue them to the canvas and then start pouring the resin. But in this case, I decided I only wanted to use varnish and some acrylic sealant. So this is not going to have a resin pour whatsoever. This is sort of an experiment to see how well acrylic sealant and varnish on everything would work. And I would say it turned out pretty well. You can see there's like a nice little shine, and the orchids wound up being pretty well sealed. So the final step after varnishing everything was just to affix them using my favorite mixed media, super strong and sturdy glue. Once the glue was fully dry, I gave another coat of varnish to the entire piece and left a little time for everything to fully cure. Then the last step was to bring in the gold leafing, which was very exciting because I actually used gold leaf as well as a metal leaf in green. So it was my very first time using a colored metal leaf rather than just pure gold. And I wanted to kind of emphasize the falling nature of the orchids, so I almost like traced a little trajectory line of where they may fall should this scene be happening in real life. I do have a few videos about gold leafing, so make sure to check those out if you'd like to try this process on your own. Gold leafing is one of those kind of ethereal things you can do with your artwork that looks really technical but is actually very simple. So to conclude on just how building your art skills can really make you more successful in life, think of your life as not just a linear journey. It is a grand masterpiece waiting to be painted. The skills you acquire in your art making journey are like your brushes. The patience and perseverance you show are like your colors. Your artistic flair is your unique composition, and the world is literally your canvas. So keep creating, keep innovating, and watch how these artistic skills in turn help you create success in all areas of your life. You officially have my permission to go forth and create the life you truly want to lead. Woohoo! So thanks for being here today, folks. I hope you learned a whole lot, and if you like this format, please let me know down in the comments. This is the first time I've ever done like a full painting at the same time as doing a full artsy advice, and if you like that, let me know because I have more in the works. I've got a big painting that's about to come up with, and if you like this format, I'd be happy to teach you something while you watch me paint it. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.